In Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer, you are part of an Apex team, the best of the best the Nexus has to offer. While not a regular group of soldiers, they are nonetheless talented individuals that take on the most dangerous and important missions in this new galaxy. In this series, we are going to take a look at the various class builds for the various characters in the game's multiplayer. So with that in mind, I'm Darcblade, and let's take a look at our next Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer character, the Salarian Architect. As always, remember that these guides are aimed at the harder difficulties in the game and are aimed for at least rank 10, level 20 characters. However, there will be advice for lower ranked characters later on in the video. The Salarian Architect was one of the first DLC characters added to the game, and while being a tech-focused character, he also has access to Sentinel abilities in Barricade. He also came with, at the time, the unique Remnant VI. Now, the Salarian Architect is one of the characters I had the hardest time finding a build that I really enjoyed. There are multiple builds out there. In this video I'll cover the one that I personally enjoyed the most, although I will mention some of the other builds as I go through the abilities and such. Anyway, I personally like to spec the Salarian Architect as follows. First with Remnant VI, I max this out going up to rank 6, putting points into detonating missiles over electric beam. Now both of these are quite good. Detonating missiles will allow the Remnant VI to activate your combos. In the case of this build, the combos will be set up by Barricade and Incinerate. Electric Beam is also a nice alternative, as it will allow the Remnant VI to prime targets for tech combos. Next with rank 5, I put points into Close Combat module over Focus module. Now this in some respects is down to personal preference. If you like your Remnant VI to do more damage, then Focus module is better. However, I prefer to use the Remnant VI as more of a tanking tool, something to take aggro away from you, and thus Close Combat module comes in more handy. It gives the Remnant VI more strength, and it more easily attracts enemies' attention. And then finally with rank 4 I put points into Expedient Repairs over Recharge Speed. Again, another personal preference choice. I chose Repairs to allow more survivability to the Remnant VI. Next I max out Barricade, going up to rank 6, putting points into Electric Defense over Regeneration. I take Electric Defense for two reasons. Firstly, to stun enemies who get too close to the barricade, and 2, to allow it to prime enemies who get too close for a tech combo. At rank 5 I put points into Weapon Feedback over Power Feedback. This in some respects is down to personal preference, however with this character I will be dealing more damage through my weaponry than my powers. And then finally with rank 4, this is again down to personal preference, I put points into Duration over Power Cells. Power Cells is useful for if you like to move around the map, roaming around, hunting for enemies, whilst Duration is more efficient if you prefer to stay in defendable, hunkered down positions. Next with Incinerate, I max this out going up to rank 6, putting points into Detonator over Double Incinerate. Now, both of these are kind of viable. I personally took Detonator because I do use consumable ammo on this character, and having Incinerate as a detonator will allow me to activate combos and not have to actually rely on the Remnant VI all the time. That being said though, if you dropped points elsewhere and maxed out your passives, mainly taking points in Elemental Tech and Tech Sabotage, then I would definitely advise Double Incinerate. At rank 5 I put points into Impact Damage over Anti-Armor, and then at rank 4 I put points into Radius over Burning. Radius can potentially hit multiple targets that are stacked close to one another. Next with the passives, with Offensive Tech, I only go up to rank 4, putting points into Combo Detonation over Power Enhancement. Now both of these are kind of viable, I went for the combo damage though. Now if you wanted to, and this is strongly advisable for some people, you could either drop points in either Barricade or Remnant VI, basically reducing one or the other to only 1 point. This will allow you to max out Offensive Tech, and if you were to do so, I'd put points into Elemental Tech at rank 6, and then either Anti-Shield or Anti-Armor at rank 5. And then finally with Support Systems, I only go up to rank 4, putting points into Tech Radius over Tech Duration. Again, this choice is a little bit down to personal preference, as both are perfectly viable. However, again, like I mentioned, if you drop points down to 1 in either Remnant VI or Barricade, then you can max out Support Systems. If you were to do so, I'd put points into Tech Sabotage at rank 6 and then Advanced Construction at rank 5. As for weaponry, it doesn't really matter too much what you take on this character. Something that primes targets quickly with consumable ammo types can help, but it's not vital. As for your gear slot, go with something to either increase your power cell capacity, weapon damage, tech damage, or recharge speed. Now anyway, let's get into the heart of the episode and talk about the Salarian Architect's moves and abilities. Their first one is the Remnant VI. Basically, when you activate this ability, the Salarian Architect will deploy a retrofitted Remnant Observer. This will then float beside you. dealing damage to enemies. It also has the ability to cloak itself when critically damaged, as well as repair itself over time. You can also command the Remnant VI to attack a certain target if you tap the ability button again, whilst aiming at the desired target. You can also deactivate the Remnant VI altogether by holding down the ability button again. The Remnant VI could be modified in various ways. For example, if you did put points into Close Quarters module, it turns the Remnant VI into a sort of tank. Whilst not able to take loads of damage, it can still draw enemies' attention away from you. With points in detonating missiles like I've got, Remnant VI can be used to activate combos set up by your Incinerate or Barricade, or your consumable ammo. It's a nice little bonus. If you didn't put points into detonating missile and preferred electric beam instead, then the VI can be used to set up tech combos. These can be then activated with your Incinerate with points in detonator. Having the Remnant VI deal extra damage for you, as well as taking hits for you, is probably the main draw of it. On the lower difficulties, it can take out enemies easily. However, as the difficulties go up and up, the Remnant VI becomes a little bit less useful. I haven't really utilised the Remnant VI on any of the characters, and I wanted to give the Salarian Architect something unique, so this is why I maxed out Remnant VI. On the whole though, the Remnant VI is an AI controlled ability. You have little say over what it does, which I personally don't always like. The next ability the Salarian Architect has is Barricade. This is normally found on Sentinel characters. Anyway, once you press the ability button, the Architect will deploy a temporary energy barricade that will boost shield regeneration for anyone, you or your teammates, who are taking cover behind it. This basically is portable cover. Once behind it, you get various other bonuses depending how you spec Barricade. On top of that, with points in electric defense, it turns the Barricade into a wonderful tool to deter melee opponents. Basically, enemies who get close to the Barricade will be stunned temporarily and primed for a tech combo, which can be then set off by the Remnant VI or your Incinerate. With Barricade, both a pro and a con is that it comes in great when you are fighting in a hunkered down position. Being able to place your own portable cover that gives you buffs, as well as provide other benefits, is a really useful tool. However, if you are playing a roaming game moving around the map often, Barricade becomes less and less useful. The other biggest con is that it's a power cell fueled ability, meaning that you have a limited amount of them you can place before having to go back to an ammo crate and restocking. A nice little tip for Barricade is that if you're on the move, if you have to be more offensive, then you can actually run up to enemies, place Barricade down by their feet, and thus priming them for a tech combo as well as stunning them thanks to the electric defense talent. Whilst maybe not the most efficient way to use the ability, it's definitely useful in emergencies. The Salarian Architect's third and final ability is Incinerate. This iconic tech move that once used fires a plasma projectile. This projectile is also semi-homing, so if aimed right, can hit enemies hiding behind cover. Once it does hit its target, it will deal damage to them and inflict an ongoing burning damage over time effect. However, the damage over time is negated by shields, so enemies with blue health bars. On top of that, it deals bonus damage to armoured opponents, so enemies with yellow health bars, and anyone hit by it, bar shielded targets, will be primed for a fire combo. With the way it's spec'd at the moment as well, it can also be used as a detonator, meaning that enemies who have been primed, either by your Barricade or by your consumable ammo, you will then have a manual way to detonate those combos. As for the passives, as I already mentioned, if you did want to drop points down to 1 point in either Barricade or Remnant VI, this will allow you to max out both of these passives, which is a completely viable option in all honesty. In offensive tech, going up to elemental tech means that enemies who are hit by your Remnant VI or your Incinerate will receive a defense debuff of 35%, which will help the entire team. And as for your support systems, putting points into tech sabotage will add another debuff on top of that once they are hit by one of your powers, causing them to deal less damage to you and your teammates. But instead, I've had more success using the build I've got at the moment, instead focusing on the variety of combos you can create with your abilities, as well as the bonuses your abilities provide. Now, as for weaponry, like I said, it doesn't really matter what you take, but try to take some consumable ammo type. Personally, I like to use Disruptor ammo, as it can prime any target in the game. Once they are primed, hit them with Incinerate to create a manual combo. Now, the Salarian Architect is a Salarian. They have average health, but above average shields. On top of that, they have a standard jump, hover and dodge mechanic, but the Salarian Architect does come with a rarer melee attack. They use the Remnant Cryo Gauntlet, which deals okay damage, but more importantly, it can freeze unprotected targets. That means enemies with red health bar will be completely frozen. On top of that, they will be also set up for a cryo combo, which can then be activated either by your Remnant VI or Incinerate. Now, if you don't have a rank 10 at level 20 Salarian Architect, I'd first advise you to decide on what type of build you want to go for, if you want to utilise the passives, or like me, in this build, go for the abilities. Whilst leveling up, I would advise maxing out Remnant VI, followed by Incinerate and then a few passives, and then once you reach the higher levels, you then need to ask yourself if you're going to go for the build I've got here, or drop points in either Barricade or Remnant VI in favour for maxing out your offensive tech and support systems. Now overall, the Salarian Architect, like I said, I've had a hard time trying to find a build that I truly think is the best. I am really torn between the build I'm using in this, utilising the abilities, and the build that utilises the passives. In the end, I went for the abilities to try to set him apart from other characters in the game. Whilst he does have some unique aspects in the fact that he's one of the only characters who can create all three types of combos through non-consumable means, as in you can create a tech combo through your Barricade or Remnant VI, you can create fire combos thanks to your Incinerate and the Remnant VI, and you can create cryo combos thanks to your Remnant Cryo Gauntlet. Not many characters in the game can do that. That being said though, he is a perfectly capable character, and if you can get past the Remnant VI being an AI controlled aspect of the character, you can take on most difficulties in the game. Anyway, I hope you found this guide helpful, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you another Mass Effect Andromeda Multiplayer class guide to the Salarian Architect. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.